Hey, my name is Attorney Walter Rudolph Hnot III. I'm with Disability Resolution PA, an Orlando, Orange County-based Social Security disability law firm. Let's go ahead and begin. First off, I'm using some mobile green screen kind of gear. I'm also using the iPad Pro for the first time to see how the audio is going to be. I did some initial tests with this on it, and it kind of blocked the sound. So let's see how this sounds to see if we can get some good audio without having to hook up some sort of, DA converter or some sort of, microphone system through an XLR, through a yada, yada, yada. Okay, let's go ahead and begin. Should you chew out your big box disability attorney? Okay, so here's the thing. You can scream at, yell at, whatever you want at your Social Security disability attorney, but you're just going to anger them and they're going to not want to do a lot of cross-examination or testimony. So if you were one of those types who hired a big box firm, and you guys know that I always tell you, when you go to hire a disability attorney, hire a local one that you can go talk to, work with, build the claim with, yada, yada, yada. Don't hire the mega big box firm, because the problem with the mega big box firm is that you usually can't get a hold of the attorney because they shovel as many claims to that person as they can because they do mega advertising. And then you guys all fall into that giant, I guess you would call it like a wasp nest, or I don't know, there's some garden where it eats claimants and just they're gone because, they can't interact with many people. The only people they usually interact with are the receptionists. They usually can't even get a paralegal on the phone. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and walk through this. So should you chew this person out because of the classic reason that you all get pissed off about, which is the attorney didn't do testimony preparation with me, the attorney didn't do testimony shaping with me, the attorney didn't tell me the questions and answers of my upcoming hearing, blah, 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 so on and so forth. I hate this person, wah, life is so terrible. And I get it. Like, you've waited 3 years and this person is your savior and they didn't do it. I get it. Should you chew them out before the hearing? No, because here's the thing. Most attorneys come from usually pretty well-off families, and when somebody treats them like crap, they tend to just be like, well, I don't want to really help this person. Because remember, these attorneys are humans too. Albeit, they're following a program. The program is shoveling claimants at them at an extremely high rate, and they don't really have a chance to prep any of these people at a proper level, in my opinion. But they're still humans. Realize right up front that these people want you to be found disabled. But it's tough for them because, in order for them to keep their job at the mega firm, they have to produce so many claims completed and so many claims won. So the amount of work they put in isn't necessarily the grand custom yada yada that you might have hoped for. Don't chew them out right up front. Okay? Work with them and constantly badger them until you get what you want out of them, because it's going to be tough for you to get a hold of them to begin with. Now, do you need to see them in person? No, you don't need to see them in person. The only thing you need from them that's absolutely necessary is that they run questions with you of every question you're likely to hear in that hearing, and that you get used to hearing their voice. Because if you're not used to hearing their voice, it's going to throw you off when you're in the hearing. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's not really that big of a deal. It's a huge deal. If you don't realize it's a huge deal, you're kind of an idiot. Because people are pack animals. That's why they have families. That's why they live in houses with families. We send them off to college. They create new packs, yada, yada, yada. They're pack animals. And we get accustomed to the sound of the other animals in our pack. And by and through that, when a person can hear the voice. Okay, let me give you another example. You get where I'm going with that. A pianist, a great pianist. We send this great pianist from, or let's say it's not the greatest of pianists because then he'd bring his own piano, but let's say a pretty darn good pianist, right? Piano player. We'll go from, piano hall to piano hall, and doesn't get to bring his own piano. And do we just throw him up on the stage? Do we just make him go out there and do his thing? No. He gets there a couple of days ahead of time. He rehearses on that exact piano that he's going to be utilizing for the actual show. He does it multiple times over and over and over. He gets it right because he's getting used to the sound. He's getting used to the feel. And that's super duper important. You need to be used to what the person's voice sounds like. If you go in there and all of a sudden you're hearing a female or a male voice that you don't hear well. Have you ever heard, you talk with somebody and you've been like, I'm not sure what they're saying. I'm having a hard time, what are they really saying? I'm missing words. sometimes that is. Our ears are actually set up to hear from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, and sometimes we don't hear as well somewhere in that, you know, little line. We just don't hear certain voices as well. And obviously that could be from anything, genetics, it could be from, you know, watching too many NASA, you know, launch offs and yada, yada, yada. It could be anything, you know, you were playing with air tools for too much time. The bottom line is, okay, at the end of the day, that you need to be used to that voice, okay? I know I had one claimant who, whatchamacallit, didn't choose to go with one firm because he just could not, you know, it's like, he said to me, it was like, it's like I had a professor, you know, in school, and the problem was I could never tell what this professor was saying because I just could not understand his speaking, or the you know, it wasn't so much the diction, it wasn't so much the syntax, it was just the sound of his voice. So my point to you is get used to the sound of that person's voice, because when it comes to these disability attorneys, you're in there with that judge, and there's not a ton of people there. There's no like giant group of witnesses and a giant group of people that are going to be, you know, jurors that are going to be judging you and making, you know, decisions. It's not like that. There's an ALJ, administrative law judge, in front of you. There's the clerk of the ALJ, and then there's usually a vocational expert, and sometimes there'll also be a medical expert, but usually the medical expert is coming in via telephone, you know, video teleconference hearing. So what you need to know as a bottom line is that you shouldn't beat this person up before the hearing. You should pull as much out of them as possible before that hearing. And here's why. All right, when they teach you at the police academy and other academies that are related to, you know, either penal institutions, law enforcement institutions, whatever, what they teach you is to really listen to what the person's saying and to gather information, not give information unless you want to strategically give that information. That's what you're doing with this attorney. You're gathering as much information to learn as much as you can for this hearing. If you have a big box attorney, you've got an uphill battle because they're usually not as prepared because they have so many claims and it's just all over the place. With that said, once again, don't murder them, beat them up, chew them out before the hearing. You want to do it after the hearing, that's fine. You only beat them up, chew them out, whatever, before the hearing if they are really super unprepared and you need to kick them in the butt. And if they're really super unprepared and you need to kick them in the butt, you might have to fire them because then it gives you an excuse to get the judge to give you more time to go ahead and submit evidence thereafter. Super important, right? So let's say that your big box attorney doesn't prepare your claim and you're kind of like, what do I do now? Where do I go with this thing? What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and prep everything to basically be set up so that you request from the judge in the actual hearing, you know, an allowance to have an extension put onto the claim so that you'll have a hearing in 3-4 months, whatever from now. If your claim isn't ready, the problem is that if you go in there, the evidence likely isn't in there. So even if the judge wants to figure it out and adjudicate it, they don't have all of the blocks that they use to build their brief that they send out. And it's not really them. The ALJ doesn't write the brief, it's a writer for them. So the point here is you really want to take a moment when it comes to this structure and say, okay, what are my trial tactics? If my attorney hasn't properly prepped me and the claim isn't ready and the evidence isn't in, what are my tactics? If it were me, I would fire the attorney. I would then notify the court in writing, like I'd send them, you know, a letter, or it could be handwritten, could be whatever, but just make sure you put names, social, date, yada, yada, that you've terminated your relationship with that attorney, claim wasn't prepped properly, you're now seeking another attorney, you're requesting an extension of time put on it. Then I go to the hearing, request the exact same thing, because sometimes they don't read it before the hearing, and the judge will likely grant you an extension to go ahead and have a fair hearing. Okay, that means 3 to 4 months from now, you'll actually have another hearing, which is good. That's a super bueno. Okay, so we've gone through what you should do as per trial tactics when it comes to the big box disability attorney that didn't prep your claim, didn't talk to you, didn't prep things in a manner in which you feel was appropriate for having to wait 3 years in your life being ruined during that process. All right, I'm going to check the audio on this video and see if it's okay. And if it's okay, we're going to shoot another 9 videos. And then we'll just kind of go from there, all right? If you want the most up-to-date information, a free consultation, or a custom video made about a particular topic, that's fine. Shoot me an email, give me a call, yada, yada. Realize, here's the deal. If you live out of state, like you live in Alaska, California, Maine, Hawaii, I can't represent you because I'm not driving there for the hearing. I'm just not going to do it because I have enough hearings as it is in the Florida, Georgia, you know, Puerto Rico, and what you call U.S. Virgin's area, which actually they don't do the hearings there. So with that said, here's the deal. I'll help you. I'll call you back. I'll give you what your steps should be, but you have to leave me 5 stars, you know, those stupid little review thingies on multiple different websites. So that's the deal I make with you. That's the covenant we have. If you reach out to me and I help you, you got to leave me 5 stars on a bunch of these things, because all of my claimants, it's ridiculous. And I wasn't pushing it, to be fair. Like, I wasn't like, hey, I just run your benefits, can you leave me? I wasn't doing that. I just kind of expected somehow they would magically go online and do that. And I myself, I'm terrible with it. Like, I buy items on eBay and I never leave reviews. So I've become better about doing that, because now I realize their importance. I wouldn't know the great products unless people left good reviews for it, yada, yada, yada. So become part of the good reviews army, I guess you would call it, and make sure if I help you that you leave positive reviews, 5-star reviews. That's what I'm looking for. Not 4, not 3, not 2, not 1. I want 5 stars. All right. My name is Attorney Walter Hnot. I'm with Disability Resolution PA, an Orlando, Orange County-based Social Security disability law firm. I really want you guys to win disability benefits. I want you to win them the right way. So many times have I heard, well, this guy got a crazy check and all he did was, you know, go to the bathroom on himself when he was at the CE. I want you guys to actually get them the proper way, as opposed to putting on an act, because I have just a massive, you know, of claims where they were just fraud claims, and now they're probably mentally unsound, but when they first initially did it, they did a lot of tricks and tactics and things like that that were wrong, and the Senator committees got them, and now they have a massive $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 overpayment on it. So my point to you is, do it right the first time, so that for the rest of your life, you'll be getting the SSI, SSDI, unless you have to convert over to retirement under the Title II benefits. Yeah, that's another video. All right, I'll catch you later. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.